Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, you fantastic people wherever you are. Welcome to Chibi Reads Reddit. I'm your host, DoomChibi99. Today's subreddit is r/entitled parents. So sit back, get cozy, grab a drink, and let's read. Scared to live my life. Hello, so recently I, 21 female, have moved out with my husband, 19 male, in another city 2 hours and 30 minutes from my old place. My mom and stepdad bought a new house a few years ago that is an hour and 30 minutes away from where we lived before. They bought a house for vacations but ended up living there most of the time. I met the love of my life and I wanted to, and still want, to live my life with him, and now we live together. I told my mom and stepdad about him, but they haven't met him yet, only saw a picture of our wedding. I didn't invite my mom because I wanted to have a good time free with friends. It might be weird, but I really don't feel comfortable showing him to my mom because I don't know how she will react, and also that I simply don't care. My stepdad was the one who had the idea of me going to live with him, and then my mom supported that it's the best thing I could do to be with him and for my hair classes. 1 month into living together, and it's like my mom wants to control everything, starting with jobs that she found for him close to her house. That is an hour and 30 minutes away from my hometown. She sends job offers for approximately 3 weeks for him and me. For 1 week straight, she was sending me paragraphs about everything and nothing. Also constantly asking random questions to have a conversation with me after I told her multiple times to leave me alone and stop invading me. I cannot live more than a full day without her texting me. I'm feeling watched, invaded, and I feel that I cannot go to wherever I want without her invading my personal space. To me, it's very strange because she was already far from me 3 years ago in their new house, and the day I move out, she wanted me to come back and can't let me go. Now I want to move to Mexico with my husband because he already has a whole house down there, and since we could work a few months here, we could save a lot of money to live even better there, and also for the heat and fresh air. For both of us, everything is so expensive here. I feel that our life is just living to pay the rent, eat, and barely have money to go to a restaurant and buying treats. For my part, I would want to move to Mexico to live better there. At the end, I feel that I cannot do what I want, and she doesn't want me to go far from her, and she's just stuck in her when I was a baby phase, and she cannot let me grow up and live my life with my husband. Yes, it is far, but my stepdad has had enough money to buy almost any house he wants in Mexico. Now it's on them. In short, I want to move to Mexico with my husband, but my emotionally dependent mom would never let me go, and it's making me hide a lot of things from her. Your mom sounds kinda off here, OP. This is more than empty nest syndrome. I hope she gets help, because this is just gonna escalate further and further. She's definitely trying to be controlling. Mother destroys son's hopes for the future. This is a short one without any dialogue, as it is a story relayed to me with none of the interactions detailed. My family have been working as invigilators, exam supervisors, for the state's education department for years. My mom does it, my sister does it, my ex-wife did it. It only comes up for 2.5 weeks per year, as they are only needed for the end-of-year exams for those in their final year of school. This year, I got roped into doing it as well due to a general shortage of supervisors. I was today's only exam when the chief supervisor, who happens to be my mother, comes up to me with an unbelievable story. My sister, working at a different high school, was approached by one of the teachers, asking for a copy of the psychology exam booklet. Here's the thing. Teachers aren't allowed to ask for them. A supervisor must drop a copy off at the school's reception desk. I should know because I've done it every exam I worked. Later, another teacher turns up. You may notice the lack of quotation marks with the second teacher. That's because it is the school's only psychology teacher who knew better than to ask for a copy of the book. This legitimate teacher showed up only at the end of the exam to see how her students went. I think. Those details were omitted to me due to the nature of the following information. It turns out the first teacher wasn't a teacher at all, but did work at the school. She was after a copy of the exam because her son was taking it and she wanted it for reasons? Even if she did obtain a copy, it would have been too late as she wouldn't have been allowed into the exam hall to give her kid the answers. She had no way of contacting her son, as phones, smartwatches, and smart glasses were prohibited items not to be taken into the hall. Moreover, given the complex nature of some of the questions, I have a psychology degree and was confused by some, she would have spent more time researching the answers than the length of the exam. So even if she somehow mastered all the intricacies of psychology in mere hours, it would have been pointless, particularly as there was no way she could have relayed the information as previously mentioned. Now, this woman's job is very much in jeopardy, and her son will likely receive an automatic fail, regardless of how well he performed. This blemish on his record will also likely follow him when he applies for any university. There are only 4 in our city, denying him the chance to do whatever it was he wanted. His mother's belief the rules didn't apply to her has effectively doomed her son, though she will likely never see it this way. Sorry I couldn't go into more detail. That's as much information as I received. Also, I have to leave for work. Farewell! Edited to add, to all those asking how punishing the child can be justified, I'm under the impression the proverbial sins of the mother will reflect on the son, but I will confirm tomorrow and update accordingly. Edited to add, it's tomorrow now, though a bit later than expected thanks to a virus hitting hard and fast. I checked with my source, but they could neither confirm nor deny repercussions for the son. The timing of the incident, i.e. once he had already entered the exam room, makes the chances of him getting a sneak peek seems to be minimal, so he has a chance. I just cannot say for certain one way or the other. I know they take cheating accusations seriously. Kids aren't even allowed to have the covers for their calculators attached, labels on their water bottles, or any form of writing on their person. I hope he gets off, but either way, there is likely to be some awkward conversations with his mother. Am I cooked? When I woke up from sleeping on the couch, quick nap, I was in a really bad mood because I just lost all my free time to sleep. I'm 14 and don't have much free time. When my mother got mad for my bad mood, she told me to go to my room, and I said no. I am aware I screwed up. So anyway, my father gets in my face and tells me to go to my room and not to tell Mom no. After, I overheard them and they were talking about me. Turns out, my father is trying to convince my mother to put me up for adoption, saying, "He's like this every day." By the way, I don't have outbursts like that often. And he says, "I can't take it anymore. I want him out of our house." My mother said no, but he is persistent. He has told me in a drunken fit that he wants to disown me and have me live with other people because I'm a little turd. I have been cleaning the house recently when home alone to earn brownie points and to not get kicked out. Am I cooked? Edit. My grandmother offered to take me and my parents are discussing it. I don't trust them to take care of my little brother too. I need to discuss that with them. This is kind of hitting a little, really close to home for me because when I was 13, my dad started threatening to kick me out, saying, "If you don't have a job by the time you're done high school, you're out of the house." Thankfully, my mom managed to stop that, but he kept constantly threatening to kick me out, and that's really scarred me a little, quite a lot ever since. So, OP, I hope you and your brother are living with your grandma now. But yeah, there is something definitely going on with your dad to act like that. Because, you can't get a job as a minor, right, Dad? My mom isn't happy with my wedding plans. My fiancé and I had plans to get married in January of this year, but his visa got denied. It's been so heartbreaking and hard on us. We've been apart since June of 2023, and we thought the long distance has ended. But I guess the universe had other plans for us because now we're applying for a marriage visa, and that'll take 1 to 2 years for him to come back to the US. So now we have plans to get married in his home country of South Korea in December and go to Japan for our honeymoon. As a side note, I'm very lucky with the job I have, and I get a lot of vacation time, and I can go to South Korea 3 times a year. I'm lucky in that sense. I would be getting married in South Korea alone due to my mom not wanting to make the trip because she's phobic of flying, and my dad not caring to come. When I say get married, I just mean the legal part of it, that we're legally married. There won't be a big wedding celebration, and when he comes back on his marriage visa, that's when we'll have a wedding celebration for all our family and friends. My dad said he'll possibly come to South Korea when I get legally married. But really, I came to terms I'll be getting married alone, and it doesn't bother me. My mom told me that we should get married in Canada, but honestly, we already have plans, and I'm so excited to go to Osaka with him. Also, I feel like since the visa denial, I don't care about a wedding. I just want to sign the papers. I told my mom that we have plans for South Korea, but she pleaded with me to have it in Canada. Since my parents can drive from New York, where we live, to there, I just told my mom I'm not sure if I want to, and then she started having a meltdown. She told me I can do this for her so she can be at my wedding. She then went on with how it's clear I don't want her at my wedding. She also threw in that I'm ruining Christmas if my dad goes to South Korea to watch me get married. There was a lot of other stuff she said, but this was the highlight of it. I mentioned this idea to my fiancé, and he understandably has concerns. He's worried about the legal aspect of this and other issues regarding his visa denial. Sure, both Canada and US are different from each other, but he seems worried about this and isn't comfortable with getting married there. I want to respect him and understand him more if there's something I'm missing. I tried telling my mom how he feels, and she shot it down and told me he can do this for them. She also said that he's not being respectful towards her for not being able to attend my marriage in South Korea. What? My mom agreed, and we can speak to our immigration lawyer about this and contact the Canadian embassy or any type of officials about this. But with that, my fiancé still feels uncomfortable and has concerns. Even my brother said he can put some effort into coming here since I'm always going there. But it's not even what any of this is about. I don't want to put my fiancé in deeper legal issues with trying to come back to the US so we can start our lives together. I'm also worried that I get 10 days of time off from work while my fiancé can only get 3 to 4 days off. I'm worried that after we get married in Canada, he would have to go back to South Korea, and if I won't be able to join him for that time period. If you know long distance, you know every moment together is so important. I don't want it to just be 3 to 4 days, and I want to have to drive back home with my parents. I don't know, I just feel stuck on what to do, and I don't know if I'm wrong for wanting to keep the existing plans in South Korea. Does that make me selfish toward my parents? Hell to the no, OP! It's your wedding, and your mom and brother are actually being the disrespectful ones. Especially saying that crap like your fiancé owes your mom so you guys can get married in Canada. Trust me, it's not going to work out well. Your mom sounds like more like a helicopter parent or bridezilla. The monster-in-law! You know what that type is like. But yeah, if this keeps happening, you might as well just elope in South Korea, okay? That's my 2 cents. My dad told me I could expire for all he cares. This happened just yesterday. I'm a 26-year-old man, and I just got out of mild surgery. I am 1.92 meters and around 120 plus kilograms. This is important for later. Recently, I had an important mild surgery to remove a pigment on my body that could cause me more health problems down the line. And because of it, my body is doing its best to heal after the surgery, and I sadly got a bit sick also because it's getting cold. I am a mess. Sick body, still healing, and a bit tired from it all, but of course, I'm doing the best I can, because I live alone, on my own. Me and my dad do have a side job where we work on electrical products reviews for companies, and I help him out. A part of this side job is filling out paperwork in a PDF documentation. I told my dad that I'm a bit sick and that, of course, I am healing, so he offered to bring me some much-needed groceries and even some medication. Throughout our work days with him, I've noticed that week by week, he has become more and more aggressive towards me about comments about my body. He has been trying this past month to get me to lose weight because I'm getting fat, and I agreed, and I am slowly taking the steps to work on it, of course. But lately, he has become really mean and nasty about it, screaming at me, calling me fat, and constantly pointing at fat people like, if you aren't going to lose weight, you will look like that one day. Mind to mention, I am not like morbidly obese or anything, health critical. I am happy the way I am, and I am in fact actually doing something about losing weight. But it's not instant! Last week, he called me through the 3 hours of working 5 times and made a comment about my weight, even made me stand on an industrial scale to see how heavy I am, throwing a fit when he saw it. And later at a pub when we went for lunch, he loudly talked about how messed up I am, how all of this is going to cause me serious medical problems, how I'm going to end up sick and expire early. The problem is, my dad is a damn hypocrite. I learned to just take it and ignore his comments and the fact I am not allowed to complain, and he gets mad at me when I mention something he does wrong is just really the fundamental hypocrisy incarnate. He used to come out of being caring, but what was once care now turned into obsession and harassment. Because now, he is just being mean to me because he hates to literally looking at me and that I am not his ideal son. God forbid talking with him about sexuality and gay, bi, trans, people that I am one of and I respect. But the fact he cannot drop it hurts me. It's just the fact that he thinks that I should do whatever he says. Because you are my son and you will do what I tell you to. Oh boy. Anyway, back to the story. The day comes and he arrives next to my apartment, and I walk out wearing my PJs to make sure to stay warm. Wearing, obviously, underwear too, since, I'm walking outside in public, looking tired, sick, and a bit messy, since I didn't shower that day, and handing him over a USB with the finished work, telling him I will later have the rest done, but because I was sick, I didn't feel like doing much, and that we know it can wait too. He then got me to help with the groceries, me already thanking him for the help, of course, and him making a comment, "Oh, I might have to use the toilet if you don't mind." And I replied that of course it's not that big of a bother. We walk up a few steps and dropping off the groceries next to my door, me getting my keys, when this conversation happens. "Wait, you were wearing underwear under your PJs? What have I told you about wearing underwear under your PJs? It's going to cause you to hurt your waist, and you need that area to breathe so it doesn't hurt down the line." And insert more health-based information. Out of pure annoyance, sickness combined, and not sounding rude or mean, just annoyed and when in a weakened state after a recent surgery. For Christ's sake, Dad. Could you at least one day, whenever you see me say something without making a single comment about what I'm doing wrong in your... You know what? If you're going to be this mean and disrespecting to me like this, you can take care of yourself on your own. I go out of my way to get here and help you, and you're going to be this rude to me? Instantly putting on even a calmer demeanor. Ugh. No, Dad, I didn't mean it like that. It's just whenever you say something, it has to attack my character, and you're just being mean at this point. You know what? You can expire for all I care. Holy crap! That moment, I just froze, looked at him, slowly angling my head to meet his eyes. Surely he was just joking. Giving him the benefit of the doubt, I ask him again. You are joking, right? Seriously. You seriously cannot mean that to your own family. I kid you not. He doubles down. Yeah, my insert coworker was right about you. That you need to find out when you get older and see how much messed up you get, how screwed up you get, and when you will be laying on your deathbed, you will know it's all your fault. I just stood there, shook. We barely spoke after. He used the bathroom, said goodbye in a very rude and annoyed tone, slamming the door behind him as he leaves. After, I right away called my mom to explain what just happened, and she was livid with him. My mom and dad are divorced, and we talked about what just happened. Her even willing to call him to give him a piece of her mind, to which I, of course, didn't want to do, mentioning it would just make him mad and he would probably do something really bad that he could harm himself and make it my fault. We talked about it and decided it was best to cut him out and ignore talking to him unless it's something urgent. Because if I would just let it go, it would get a lot much worse. The thing is, I'm autistic and I have ADHD. I work differently from others, and of course, even I'm reasonable enough to understand how messed up this is. And even under a lot of stress and pressure, like my dad was, I wouldn't ever say something disgusting and cruel to anyone. And even this situation is something that a normal person would still need help with. I am honestly shook from all this. This really got me anxious and scared because my dad was always freaking out and throwing a fit, but it was usually over something small or something that I didn't have to worry so much about, as it was mostly justified frustration. But I acknowledge that he has been acting sick, and I believe it may come from loneliness and depression. So I am, of course, giving him the benefit of the doubt, because he was there for me most of my life and always made sure he helped me with anything I needed. But these days, he makes it feel like I owe him. I am not really looking for any advice since as I said, I know what the right action here is with someone who I partially share a similar mindset with. But it really scared me and got me stressed out about it because I seriously cannot be the one who thinks this is messed up. Please do feel free to give me your feedback, and I will most likely update this post later. I hope that this post isn't too much extreme, as I am seriously looking for others' opinions and maybe some advice on how to deal with this further, or even if I know I have a plan. Thanks for reading my post. Quick edit. Forgot to mention, since I didn't feel it was important information, but it might give you a better idea of what kind of person my dad is. More about my dad. My dad was very supportive throughout my life, and despite my parents' early divorce, around 5 years when I was born, he did his best to raise me and was happy to have me. He clearly does care about me and helps out the best he can, but I believe there's something that is really causing him to act out of the norm. Again, I believe there might be something sinister going on with his head. My dad is in his late 50s. He's diabetic and requires insulin to maintain his sugar levels. He wears prescription glasses, has mild medical issues that limit his movement, and does daily exercise to stay in shape. He rarely smokes and drinks, only at special occasions or when he likes to relax. He loves jazz, and I really have empathized with that, and sadly, he has a broken dream of having a band. He practices frequently on his guitar and even sports guitar classes for others, and is really good at it too. To explain, my dad isn't exactly mean or spineless, but I feel like he is a broken man, molded by cold concrete punk environment of a depressed little town that he so much loves to complain about, but he doesn't do anything about it. After the divorce, he didn't seek out happiness or find a partner or attempt to make his dream a reality. He used to be very rebellious at his young age, and I feel like the older he gets, the meaner he gets. I feel like my dad is just a very mentally ill person, and I'm trying my best to understand and help him as much as I can, but it just hurts seeing him like this. He has nobody, and he refuses to get help, ending up with everyone distancing themselves from him. Sorry, including me now. I don't believe there is something wrong exactly with him having some kind of mental illness, but I believe he is just losing touch with reality because of the isolation he's putting himself into. He has experienced a lot of hardship in his life, forced into communism, and his mom passed away because of Alzheimer's. I feel like this is very important to mention, as some people thought my dad is a vile being. Yes, he is being abusive, but he refuses to listen to me or people and acknowledge it, freaking out like a child the moment someone criticizes him. It is really hard to get to someone when they are acting more immature than their own offsprings. OP, you might have to call in an anonymous welfare check, and he might have to be put into an involuntary hold because this is just getting worse. It's sounding like it's probably his diabetes, or it could be depression. I honestly don't know, but he desperately does need help. Otherwise, things are just gonna get worse and worse. I hope you are feeling better from your surgery, and yeah, I just hope your dad gets the help that he desperately needs. Looks like we've reached the end of today's video, but fret not, I'll be back tomorrow with more Reddit stories just for you. Want to get notified of the next video? Tap that bell icon. Want to subscribe? Tap the button. It's completely free. Anyways, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching, and until next time, catch you later, my Chibi.